Okay, so what we're going to have here is we're going to have a lesson on adding and subtracting polynomials. Just as a quick start, I'm going to say where the word polynomial comes from. It's a bit of a scary word, but what we have is it's essentially the number of terms. So number of terms terminology. So let's say we had something like, oops, that's a bit off the screen. If we had something like 5x, that's only one term. So we would call this a monomial. So monomial means one term. If we had something like 5x minus 7, then there's a cut over here. So we have one term, two terms. So that's going to be a binomial. And if you had three terms, it would be a trinomial. So it could be 5x squared minus 3xy plus w. And that would be a trinomial. And then there's a word, polynomial. So this word over here, the word polynomial. And polynomial, poly just means many. And so polynomial could be anything. So polynomial could be a monomial, or a binomial, or a trinomial, or a, I don't know what the 1 for 4 is, but quadrinomial maybe? I'm not actually sure about that. But it'd be one of those. So polynomial just means it is something with terms. So we're adding and subtracting polynomials. We are going to be adding and subtracting these type of things. So maybe a trinomial minus a binomial, or a monomial minus a trinomial, something along those lines. And the rule, essentially the rule is to add, you remove brackets. And to subtract, you technically what they say is add opposite operations. Add opposite operations. Or another way of kind of saying it, is remove bracket, change each plus or minus sign inside bracket. So to add, you just get rid of the brackets. Nothing's easier. To subtract, we're going to have to kind of play around with it a bit. And I'm going to give you some examples right now on how to do it. So, example number 1. Let's try to do that on the sheet this time. Example number 1. So let's say we have 4x plus 7 plus 3x plus 8. Not that it really matters at this point, but that's a binomial and that's a binomial. We're adding two binomials to each other. So what are we going to do? We are going to, there's an invisible plus inside of this. You don't see it, but it's there. There's an invisible plus. So when there's a plus in front of the bracket, what do? We just get rid of the brackets. So this becomes 4x plus 7 plus, and there's a plus in front of this brackets, 3x plus 8. So then what we're going to do is we're going to collect like terms. So it's going to be 4x plus 3x plus 7 plus 8, which is 7x plus 15. And that's the answer. We're not actually solving for x here. That's algebra. All we're doing is we're simplifying. So in this case, simplifying means we're going to get rid of the brackets and we're going to combine like terms. So that was example 1. Example 2. 2x plus 7 plus 3x minus 11. I'll do it in a slightly different color so the question and the answer stick out differently. There's an invisible plus in front of this bracket, so we just get rid of the brackets. There's a plus in front of this bracket, so we just get rid of the brackets. And it stays negative. So that was positive, it stays positive. That was negative, it stays negative. Then what we do we collect like terms, so I'll bring the x's together. I will bring those guys together. And we're going to get 5x minus 4. And that's that. Example 3. 7x plus 11 minus 4x plus... Okay, so now we're getting to something reasonable here. So what we still have the invisible plus in front of that first one, so we just get rid of the brackets. So that's going to be 7x plus 11. Now there's a negative in front of this bracket. What that means is we are going to get rid of this bracket, but we're going to switch everything that's inside. So this was a plus 4, and now becomes minus 4. This was a plus 2, and now becomes a minus 2. Then we're going to collect like terms. Remember that when we collect like terms, we kind of drag the sign that's in front of the term with it. So it's going to be 7x minus 4x plus 11 minus 2. So notice the plus 11 dragged its plus with it, the minus 4x dragged its minus with it. And we're going to get 3x and 11 minus 2 is 9. And that's the answer to number 3. Pause it if you want to keep on looking. I'm about to change the papers. Example 4. 3x minus 11 minus 5x minus 7. So there's an invisible plus in front of this bracket. Nothing changes. There is a minus in front of this bracket, so we're going to have to flip everything. So this was a plus 5. It becomes minus 5. This was a negative 7. We're going to change it. So instead of the minus 7, it becomes plus 7. And of course, that's the hard step. Then we rearrange things. We're going to get 3x minus 5x minus 11 plus 7. And it's going to become minus 3 minus 5 is minus 2x, and minus 11 plus 7 is minus 4. So I'm going to pause there, and I'll do some more examples on the next video.